What is going on, everybody? Zach RC here. Welcome back to the channel and welcome along to episode number 13 of the F1 2021 driver career here for our very first run into the foray of Formula 1. About to get going here with our rookie season in the World Championship. And before we get going here, I'd really like to say thank you so much for all the reception you've given me on the first episodes in Formula 2. I really appreciate it. It gives me the motivation to keep making more videos. As for which team I'm going to be driving for, I eventually settled on Alpine. Having looked at the comments in the last episode, they seem to be who you want me to drive for. Obviously, I'm a part of the Renault Driver Academy, so it only makes sense. So Alpine are the team we'll be driving for. And as for the teammate choice, I made this choice myself. I'm going to be teammates with Fernando Alonso, of course. Given the choice between a two-time world champion and a one-time race winner, the choice is kind of obvious. We'll be doing the full 20 races, so of course so far Portimao, Imola and Saudi Arabia are yet to be added to the game, but when they are we will do a full season with those as well. But that is pretty much all you need to know in the idea of setting up the game. I did make a few changes to my character. The avatar remains the same as just the number. What we did do is make a few changes to the helmet, so I'll be showing those to you guys in a moment. But Alpine, yeah, that is who we're driving for this first season of the career. So like I say, I made a few changes to our helmet from the season in F2, where we just had the regular. We're keeping the blue and yellow design on the helmet. We're going to be changing the we've changed the design. I've kept the colours. So if I just go ahead and show you guys here the finished model, there it is, the blue and yellow and a pinch of white here and there. Very nice if you ask me. And that's all the changes I made to the helmet. So without further ado, then we're going to jump in and see what the world of Formula 1 has to offer us in this driver career series. So without further ado, let's jump right in. Here we are now then in the little career hub bit. Of course, the large sheet over this season's machine, as we obviously will have to wait for the car reveal. I'm just going to show you through all the menus here. We've got an email from Davide Brivio saying welcome to the team, and an email from our R&D manager Ethan, who will be working with to improve the car and get them higher up the grid, because right now we are only the 6th best car on the grid. Taking a look through all the stuff. There's the contract section in the corporate, the standings in general. We'll be taking a look at that as time goes by. And there we go. Obviously the R&D bit will be crucial to us improving the car. And we're going to get going on some upgrades here. So we're gonna go for a chassis upgrade, because that's where we're struggling compared to everyone else. So that's 1,000 resource points. That'll take 12 days to come through, so that'll be in before the first race. And we did look around at some other upgrades, but unfortunately we just didn't have the resource points for them, so that will have to hold off until later on. But the chassis and the aero, those are the ones we have no upgrades on at the moment, so those will be most likely our first ports of call. The aero does seem to be okay for the time being, in the idea that we're quite good compared to everyone else. So we're going to advance time here. We'll get our weekly resources. That's 525 resource points. We have to put those into some upgrades. So yeah, we're going to have another look at the upgrades here. We're going to have a look in the powertrain section and take the 1000 minor pistons upgrade. So we'll be doing that. So we're going to jump over to the car reveal here. Once we look through the rest of these menus one more time, there is our teammate, of course, Fernando Alonso, 94 rated. And we're going to purchase a perk here. We've got 4 perks: social media team, power mapping, media coaching, and development feedback. We're going to go with the social media team, so that will boost our driver acclaim until I assume it runs out. I've never really done much with the driver perks before, so hopefully that will do okay, as we need to get our acclaim up in order to be recognised by other teams. So without further ado, we're going to jump into this car reveal. No more emails apart from this season objective one. Team expects to be around the middle of the field. Without further ado, it's time to reveal the sum of our hard work to the world. So let's have a look at the car. So there it is then, our beautiful 2021 Alpine race car. I'm really looking forward to driving it out on the circuit for the first time. I'm really just looking forward to seeing where it brings us, see if we can bring that team success over the course of the season. So here we are now back in the menu. We should be looking forward to the first race, the Bahrain Grand Prix. Of course, we've got the chassis upgrade coming through on the 21st. That'll come before the race, as I said. So we'll continue looking through the menus here, and now I'm going to advance in time a bit more. And there we go to that upgrade, which has succeeded the first time around, so no need for anything more in that regard. Though we've got some more resource points. The new parts come through the fabrication process. We'll have them with us for next Grand Prix. That's good to hear. So, but that's pushed us a little bit close to Ferrari, but we're still lagging behind them, and they're closing in on McLaren and Aston Martin. But I suppose we'll have to think about that later on in the series. So for now, though, we're going to jump into this very first Grand Prix, our F1 debut here in Bahrain. Here we go then, without further ado, we're going to jump straight into qualifying. I'm doing a 3-stage qualifying for this opening round. I may change it, or it may just be that I don't show practice or quali at all for the sake of keeping these videos nice and short. So if you guys can let me know in the comments what you want to see, whether you want to see me do practice. I'll be doing quick practice in regards to the gaining resource points during those sessions. So if you want to see those, then let me know. If you don't want to see quali, then just say so. But here we go now, off the last corner to complete our very first lap in qualifying, and over the line it's only P4, it's a second off the top time in Q1, so we've got some work to do here as we head back down towards turn 1. So we're going to keep qualifying nice and brisk regardless. Here we're going to the last corner once again in the session. We currently done our second lap, we're still quite a bit behind though, just by about a fifth of a second over the DRS once more. It's still no improvement in that regard, so moving on to lap 3, the garage will go. One more chance now. Over the line, the time was still slower, so we've got work to do here. The question is, can we do it this time? We've had a good start to the lap, but I have to wait and see till we come around the last couple of corners once again down this home straight for the 4th and last time. So here we come now. Through the last sector we come. We're still just off the top time. We're now P18, so we need this lap to succeed in order for us to get further up the times. So here we come now down the straight and heading into the last corner. We need a good exit here in order to get us out of Q1 for the first time. Down the straight we come back towards the line. We're on worn soft tyres. That will probably won't help us. We've improved on our time, but in the end it just wasn't enough for us to do anything better. And it's P17, 2.5 seconds off the top time in Q1. But I suppose the only way for us to go is up. We're in front of Mazepin, Russell and Latifi, and that's definitely a start. So we're going to go into the race and hopefully try and improve on that.
No more testing, no more practice. This is the real deal. And it's make or break here at round 1 of this year's Formula One World Championship. Formula One returns to the desert today on this exceptional 3.36 mile circuit. 15 corners provide plenty of overtaking opportunities. It could be a strategic race, this one, with Sakir notorious for eating up the rear tyres. Watch out for drivers managing their rubber at some point during the Grand Prix. So here we are in 2021 at the start of another Formula One World Championship. It all begins here. Mercedes looking to retain their hold on the title. Red Bull seeking to secure their position as the main contender for that title. Ferrari no doubt hoping for a fresh start following their difficulties last year. And elsewhere on the grid, the prospect of some really exciting battles, including between the newly rebranded Aston Martin and Alpine teams. Lots to discuss then with Anthony Davidson, who's joined me in the commentary box for today's event.
It's good to be back, Crofty. Let's hope for some good racing today. We can't know at this point how competitive these teams are relative to each other, but hopefully nobody is able to run and hide. We want to see these drivers pushing to the limit all the way to the checkered flag.
Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Good job yesterday from Valtteri Bottas. The Finn starts from pole position, and it's Lewis Hamilton alongside. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Verstappen, Perez, Lando Norris and Ricciardo, Leclerc, Vettel, Sainz and Lance Stroll, Fernando Alonso, Gasly, Yuki Tsunoda and Raikkonen, Mick Schumacher, Giovinazzi, Cohen and Nikita Mazepin, Russell and Nicholas Latifi. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track.
So here we are once again, then you guys back on the grid for the start of our first ever Formula One race. We're going to have to take a look at the strategy. We're doing 25% races, so we're going to see if we can gain any time on the pit stops. Of course, stopping on lap 6 for mediums would improve our race time a little bit more based on the default strategy. But of course, I did consider briefly doing a medium to soft strategy, but that ended up being slower than the default strategy, so we decided to keep it going from soft to medium and keep things nice and quick. So pitting on lap 6, that's the plan. Hopefully it'll do us some good in this race. So without further ado, we're going to jump right into this one. So as we go to 5 red lights for our first ever Formula 1 race, the Bahrain Grand Prix, from P17 in our Alpine machine, and lights out, and we are underway. We immediately steer over to the right to try and cover off Giovinazzi, but here comes Mazepin up the inside, trying to take in multiple positions out there, something I never thought I'd say. We're going to go for one of our trademark dive bombs into turn 1, and Giovinazzi's followed us up the inside as well. He's cut the corner there, he's made contact with Sainz. Alonso's managed to get past Carlos Sainz, and there goes Vettel almost making his way past us. We bang wheels there, but that was just about put us up into P10 here, so we've gained 7 positions in those opening few corners. We're continuing to defend from Sebastian Vettel as we go through the right-hander here to complete the opening section of this race. There goes Vettel around the outside of us, and that we are forced to concede. That's us down into P11, but what a dive bomb there from both us and Giovinazzi, and it's really helped us. We're going to try one again up the inside of Vettel in his new Aston Martin, and we've managed to take the position away there. That puts us up into P10 here, so we're going to continue to chase down Carlos Sainz, who's over half a second in front of us, sorry. Of course, our main target today is Alonso, who's running P7 at the moment. We'd need him to lose some more spots, or for us to close some time in order for us to stand a chance against him in this race. Of course, starting from P17 when he made Q3, made things a little bit harder for us to try and catch him. I saw Vettel almost lose control of the car there coming off the corner while battling Giovinazzi for 11th. Nonetheless, though, we still continue to chase down Sainz, not really gaining much. If anything, he's pulling away, and that's not what we want to see. Norris is a second and a half in front of us, so we've still got work to do if we want to get any higher than P10 today as we come to the last corner to complete the first lap of this Bahrain Grand Prix. Bottas is in the lead, and we're down here in P10. Of course, a points finish would do us wonderful, and would just do us wonders in this opening race, where we're just trying to score points first time out, so go back towards turn number 1 once again. We are within a second of Sainz still, but he's continuing to pull away, so it'll only be so long until we fall prey to those behind trying to challenge us. Moving on now to the start of lap 3 though. DRS has been enabled this time by, so hopefully not for us, Vettel will be able to use that to his advantage in his regard, and that will be able to get in front of us. So moving further on now to lap 4, Vettel is still right there. We're sort of leading a train here. Both the Aston Martins struggling to try and get around us here. We've got the DRS though, so they've got the DRS. It's going to be crucial for us that we keep ahead of them as Vettel moves out to the right hand side. There he goes with the DRS, and that'll put him up into P10, but only briefly. We're going to try and go for a move down the right hand side into turn number 1. It's another late dive bomb move, and that puts us back up into P10, and that gets Vettel all out of shape, and that allows Stroll up into 11th place. And we had the DRS going to the detection zone, so that we were within a second of Vettel going to the detection zone, so that was good for us. We managed to pull away. Now moving on to the start of end of lap 6, and this is the time where we make our first ever pit stop. Of course, we can't do anything during the pit stop phase. We just have to hope that the crew makes a good stop and that we don't get held up behind anyone. So that's a very quick stop there. 2.8. We're racing as we leave the pits. We're back down to P17. Everyone else behind us is pitting: Schumacher, Russell, and I assume that'll most likely be maybe Latifi. I'm not quite sure. Actually, no, sorry, that's Lance Stroll. He's managed to get pitted with us. But anyway, we exit the pit here a good 7 to 8 seconds behind Charles Leclerc as we head back through turn 1. We've still got half of the race to go on these medium tyres. They can definitely make it to the end, and we've got work to do here. Hopefully we can gain some places through the rest of the pit stop cycle. As we move further on now to the start of lap 8. We're moving through the pack now. We've managed to get ahead of both Gasly and Vettel, and that'll put us up into P12. Of course, we've still got Tsunoda, and I believe that's Giovinazzi, who's still yet to pit, and they're running at the front. I think that's Bottas trying to close in on them. If you look on the mini-map, the two Mercedes cars closing in on Giovinazzi. Nonetheless, Vettel will be challenging us this lap. He's got fresher tyres than we do by a lap, and that can be crucial in Formula 1, because that's something we have to get used to here. Because as well as the tyres having a crucial role now, of course, with Formula 2 we were down there where we all had cars of equal performance, but this is different. The development arms race is crucial in Formula 1 for those who are new to it. There goes Vettel up the inside, trying to go for a move into turn 10, one of the worst places to try and go for a move. He's had to back out of it, so we've got the good exit. He's still got the DRS, so will he get closer to make a move? I think he's definitely closing in. Will he pull out to the left hand side and try and go for something? No, he won't. We're going to hold him off just for the time being. Going towards the end of sector 2 now. We're still 6.3 seconds behind Carlos Sainz. I've got getting really on the curve there. We're trying not to get on it too much though, because there's a good chance we spin, as that's always a crucial issue going around that corner. Moving further on now into the lap, Vettel's still closing in here. He's got the slipstream, but I doubt it'll be enough for him to go for a move going into the last corner. He's definitely closing in. He's put himself in the best possible position to go on the attack with the DRS, and Stroll's right behind him too. He's going to have DRS. Meanwhile, Sonoda and Giovinazzi both in the pits now, so we're going to move back up into P10, but only briefly because there goes Vettel past us up into the points. Once we get past Sonoda, and there we go. We'll have to go back to the inside in turn 1. We've definitely got a slower line going into the corner, and once again we've thrown Vettel out of shape, and that puts us back up into the points playing positions, and that's us back up into P10. We've got the DRS once again because we are behind him into the detection zone, so that's why we're back ahead now and trying to pull away with the DRS. If we can build a lead while Vettel and Stroll continue to battle for position, then that'll do us very nicely. We're definitely pulling away from them now. We've got a gap of almost a second, coming very close here to the curb once again. Just trying to be careful and just not do any damage to the car, especially when we're battling other people, because that can be costly in Formula 1 as opposed to F2 when we could drive around with a half damaged front wing and we could get away with a lot of stuff that we couldn't do in F1. And Vettel trying to go around the outside, but he's gone wide in the process. We kind of forced him wide. Stroll's now going on the attack. Will he try and pass? Will he try and get around us? So we'll hold him off very aggressively, and there's contact. We've bung wheels and touched his side pod there briefly. But up the inside, going into the left-hander, we hold on to the position. Moving further on now to lap 11, we've gone over the curb too much. We've lost control. We've almost spun the car, and just like that, any lead we had is blown. As there goes Vettel up the inside. There's contact. We're going to give Vettel the space, but he's on the worst line going on through the exit of the corner. Once again, here he comes like back round the outside. Will he try and go for a move? We've braked a lot earlier than he did, and he's gone wide as a result. We've given him no space to rejoin. Stroll once again finding his way back past Vettel, and we're pulling away from them once again as Vettel drops down to P13 behind Gasly. So moving on now to lap 13, we've got just 2 more laps to go. Stroll's close right back in. The gap now less than half a second. Down the straight he comes. He pulls out to the left-hand side. He's going to go for a move, but we may force him to back out here. We've run him way low on the track, and he almost lost the car completely. We've managed to hold on to the position here. We've got 1 more lap left to go in this Bahrain Grand Prix, and we're still holding on to that P10 that we gained on the opening lap to start the race. Stroll tries to go around the outside. Poor move from him. He could have tried and go inside. I think he almost tried it there going out of turn 1. He's going to have the DRS once again though, so this is going to be crucial. We need to try and keep him behind us. There he goes on the left-hand side. This time he does succeed, but we're still going to have the better run. He locks up there, going through the corner, going into the corner, and that means that puts us at an advantage because he's flat spotted his tyres. We're still there on the inside. There's still wheel to wheel. We've got the edge. We've gone over the curve a bit too much there. We may have lost a bit of momentum. Stroll still there behind us, still looking to challenge, but I reckon the DRS zone coming out here, coming out of turn 10 will be his last chance at an attack. Alonso's there in P9, 7.5 seconds up the road as Bottas rounds the final corner to come through and take the victory in the race. There's something I never thought I'd see in 2021. Bottas actually winning a race, but moving on. Down the straight we come. Here comes Stroll to the left-hand side, trying to make that move, and we're going to squeeze him once again here. He's almost lost control of the car. He managed to hold onto it. Bottas has won the race from Hamilton, and then I believe that's Verstappen in 3rd place, but that's not a concern to us. What is concerning is the fact that Stroll and Gasly are going to be trying to make moves to us going through these last couple of corners, but I think we may have just about pulled away enough. Coming through the last corner now of the race, into the corner we come, and off it we go. Over the curb and towards the line. It's going to be P10, a points finish in our first ever race in Formula 1. Come on.
That's the end of the race. We'll see you in month, mate.
Swirl.
So there you have it then everyone, P10 in our first ever Formula 1 race. Valtteri Bottas duly takes the victory, have Hamilton and then Verstappen. We didn't manage to beat Alonso today, but we managed to make up places from 17th on the grid, so I'm very proud of that. And we got driver of the day too, so that's also a good start to our career. Still the standings remain the same as the race results, so we're still 10th in the championship on just 1 point. And Alpine start the season off with 5th place with just 3 points to their name, but that'll obviously increase throughout the season. Me and Fernando score more points to get us higher up the table and hopefully beat the cars around us like Ferrari and Aston Martin. So let's take a look at the driver acclaim now. That's gone up a bit. We're still driver acclaim level 2, but we're definitely moving up. And yeah, we've made very good progress in this first race. But guys, that is where we're going to cut the tap for this episode, and we're going to call it a day. So thank you guys so much for watching it, and thank you so much for all the support you've given me on the first few episodes of Career Mode so far. I really appreciate it. It gives you the motivation to keep on going. Make sure to like the video, to share it around with all your friends, and of course subscribe. and check out the playlist if you're new around here. And for more content, I'll see you guys very soon. See you later, guys. Have a good day.